Do you like the fact that the economy is doing far better than the naysayers were predicting? People like Paul Krugman, the economist with the New York Times, said that Donald Trump was going to usher into a depression. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, said that the stock market was going to crash. Oops, it didn't. It did far better than anybody thought. And now people are saying that levels of confidence are the highest they've seen in about 20 years. So you're happy with how the economy is going. Are you happy that you have justices like Roberts, like Kavanaugh, who are very likely not going to agree with the 4 that said there is no personal right to keep and bear arms? You realize that was a 5-4 decision, the so-called Heller decision? It was about a law in Washington, D.C. that forbade people from having homes in their own home. And there were 4 justices who did not believe that the Second Amendment conferred an individual right to keep and bear arms. 4 of them don't believe that. Are you happy that we've got 2 justices that see it that way? Of course you are. Are you happy that he's gotten rid of some of these stupid regulations that have clearly slowed down the growth of America? Of course you are. Are you happy that he's standing down Iran, getting out of this Iran deal that Iran was violating, if not in letter, certainly in spirit, the Iran deal that did not even cover their intercontinental ballistics program, did not even cover their exportation of terror? Are you happy about that? Are you happy that, unlike presidents on both sides of the aisle in the past who promised to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, this president did in fact do so? Are you happy with that? Of course you are. So on issue after issue after issue, we're happy. Even on race. I've told you the Gallup poll shows that there's been a 14-point improvement on how people perceive race relations since President Trump has been in office. The decline came during the second half of the administration of Barack Obama. But you don't like the fact that this guy, in your opinion, is vulgar. Did you see the movie Caddyshack? Donald Trump is like the Rodney Dangerfield character. Pants too loud, says risque jokes real loud across the room, slaps you on the back, brags about his wealth, brags about his golf game, but he's the same guy you turn to very quietly and ask for a check for your wife's favorite fundraising campaign. That's what he is. The blue-collar guy, even though he multi-billionaire. And you just don't like it. Remember the things that Mitt Romney said about his values?
It was very much my hope that he would rise to the occasion, rise to the mantle of the office.
Rise to the occasion, rise to the mantle of the office, taking to Twitter and slamming people and saying that the squad ought to leave the country. Why don't you just admit it? Close your eyes, look at the results, and pretend it's somebody other than President Donald Trump in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Wouldn't you be happy? I mean, my goodness. After being pounded and pounded and pounded like this for 3 years, his approval ratings right now are as high as they've been since he's been president. Still underwater.
So I tell you, when Mona died last winter, I said to myself, Al, if you keep busting your hump 16, 20 hours a day, you'll end up with a $60 million funeral, you know? Hey, Doll, can you scare up another round for our table over here and tell the cook this is low-grade dog food, all right? And here, take this for yourself, okay? Shit, I had better food at the ball game, you know?
Hey, waiter, this meat still has marks where the jockey was hitting it. They can't stand his personality. They can't stand his temperament. They don't like people who brag. I remember Barbara Bush talked about how her family and George's family were proud that they were of an accomplished family, but to brag about that, to brag about your accomplishments, to pound your chest, we just don't do that. And here you have a guy who's made a bunch of money, who brags about it, who's proud of it, who spends it, and you just don't like his temperament.